Hello, welcome. Finishing up an order of some little Macaron catnip toys. So I was going to take you along with me as I finish the last one. The things you'll need if you want to make one with me are some worsted weight yarn in 2 colors, whatever colors you like, a 4mm crochet hook, yarn needles, scissors, stuffing, optional dried catnip. If you want to put that in there, you totally can. And that is everything. So let's go ahead and get started with your bottom color. We're making a magic circle. If you have a way that you love to make a magic circle, go ahead and just do it that way. If you want to do it with me, we're going to take our long end of our yarn. We're crossing it in front of the short tail. We're going to hold right where we cross them. Hook goes through the front toward the back. Take up a piece of the yarn and then do that one more time through that loop. There's our magic circle. We are going to start with 6 single crochets into our circle. You're working down the side that has the 2 strands. So if you're a lefty, that's going to be your other side. You'll just go the other way. We're going in. We're going to wrap our yarn, pull it up, and then we've got 2 loops on the hook. We're going to wrap, pull through both of those, and we're going to keep going until we have all 6 worked into the circle. Once we have all 6, that's going to be our opportunity to close it up, making the magic part of our circle happen. We'll go from a little line of stitches into a little circle. So we'll keep our hook in there just to make sure we don't lose that last stitch. Take that tail, and when you give it a good yank there, it'll bring all those stitches together. So now we can join them, creating a little round circle. So we're going in through that very first stitch we made. And then we are going to wrap our yarn, pull through there, and then pull through that last one you made. So that is our slip stitch to join. We're going to chain 1 before we start the next round. And round 2 is an increase round. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch that we've already made. So we're going in for that single crochet, and then we're going to go right back into that same place. And we're going to repeat that in every stitch around. So we're going from 6 stitches up to 12. We'll join at the end of the round. We'll chain 1, and we'll get back together for round 3 when hopefully my dogs will have stopped barking. Round 3, we've got another increase round. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to single crochet 1 into the very first stitch. So we're right next to where we pulled up that last chain from. And then that next one is going to get 2 single crochets. So we're increasing on the second stitch. We're repeating that all the way around till we get back to the beginning of the round here. So we're going 1, and then the next stitch gets 2. This is going to take us from 12 stitches up to 18. We'll join at the end. We'll do that slip stitch to join. We'll chain 1, and then we'll get back together for round 4. One last increase round. This is going to be our last round before we color change. We have round 4 here. So we're going to go a single crochet in the first 2 stitches. So 1 stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. And then in that 3rd stitch, we've got that increase. So we're going in, and then we're going in again to that exact same spot. And we're repeating this pattern all the way until the end. So it's 2 individual plain single crochets and then a single crochet 2. So working 2 into the next one. Hopefully that makes sense. You will end up with 24 stitches at the end of this round. We're not going to slip stitch to join because we're going to be changing colors, and we've got 1 extra step in between before we get there. So go ahead and finish this round. Don't join, and leave our hook in there, and we'll meet back up with our yarn needles ready and our second color of yarn. Okay, we finished round 4. We're going to take that very beginning tail that we had. We're going to use our yarn needle, threading that tail in there, and then full up in the toy inside out. We're going to grab a little leg of that very first round, doesn't matter where you grab it, and making that go through there. Once we've got just a little bit of a loop left, we'll go back through that loop to create just a simple knot. We're going to pull that to be as tight as we can get it. And that's just going to secure that beginning circle off. That way nothing can loosen that up, so nothing falls out of there. Especially if you're putting the catnip in there, it's a little flaky and can be a little messy. I'm sure your cat would enjoy that, but you might not. So now we are taking that second color, and we are going to tie our little stripe color, our frosting color, onto our cookie color here. I'm so sorry about my dogs. It is like the week of Christmas, so every neighbor in the neighborhood is getting packages, which means they are completely losing their minds this week. All right. It's not even the time the postman normally comes. It's like all the other delivery services are here now. So now that we've changed colors, we're just going to leave that green tail on the inside. We are going to join here with the second color. Then we're going to chain one, and we've got a plain single crochet around here, but the only thing that's going to be a little different is we're going through the back loops only. So if you're looking at that little V shape that we normally crochet into, we're just grabbing the back leg. It's a little hard to see on the very first stitch, so I'll show you a couple times before I leave you to go on your own. It's just a plain single crochet other than that. So seeing that little V, we're going through the back, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through the two, and we're going to keep going all the way until the end. You'll still have 24 stitches. And again, we're not going to join because we're going to be changing back to that green yarn. So go ahead and finish this round and we'll meet back up there. With round 5 done, we can trim away the frosting color. You want to leave a little bit of a tail though, so we are going to tie it back to that working strand of the green. So we never cut the green off, it's still in there. We're just going to pull it forward and up a little and then double knot that white to it, kind of bringing it up a little bit so it's right where we want it to be. So you'll have, let's see if you can see that, just a little bit of a jog there with the working bit of green. And then once we finish tying that on, we're moving all of our tails just away so we can keep going without them getting in the way. They're going to end up just tucked into the toy, so we don't have to worry about cutting them off or anything. And then we are going to join. Once you've joined, we're going to chain one, and just like we did for that frosting stripe round, we are doing a plain single crochet round, and again just into the back loops. That's going to make that second loop there stick out a little bit, kind of like if you're looking at a real macaroon, the frosting always sort of just sticks out a little bit across the middle. That's what we're going for here. So if you don't want to do the back loop, if it's something you haven't quite mastered yet, or what, if it's too much on your hands, what have you, it's totally okay to do it regular. You'll still get the same look, just without a little bit of that kind of stick out there. Anyway, we'll keep going. So plain single crochet all the way around, back loop only. This time you will join, and then we'll get back together for the next round. We're going to start to decrease already. This is a pretty quick toy. I'm going to go through it in no time. All right, we'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, we're ready to decrease. We've joined, chained one. We are going to do a single crochet into the first 2 stitches, just a plain stitch for those very first 2 stitches. And then those next 2 we're going to get worked together. So we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. We're going through the front loop only of those next 2 stitches. We're going to wrap, we're going to pull through the 2 that we just went into, and then wrap and pull through the 2 left on the hook. Now, if you have a different decrease stitch that you like to do, you absolutely can. I find that this particular way to decrease lets there be slightly less of a little gap, so you don't see as much as the stuffing, you don't get as much fallout of catnip if you're putting catnip in there. But if it's uncomfortable for you for whatever reason, you can do whatever decrease stitch you like. As long as we're going from 24 down to 18 stitches for this round, you are exactly where you want to be. So keep going, finish this one off. We're going to join at the end. We are going to chain one, and then we're going to get back together for that next round. Okay, we're on to our 8th round. This one's also going to be a decrease round. This is our last one before we're going to add stuffing. If you find that your tails are getting in the way, now you probably have enough toy that you could tuck them on inside and they'd stay in there and stay out of your way. So if you want to do that, you can. If you want to wait, you can. Totally up to you guys. You could even make them a little bit shorter and tuck them in there if you need to. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then we are going to work 2 together for the next little bit here. So we are again repeating the pattern all the way around. So we're going 1 single crochet and then single crochet 2 together. So working those next 2 stitches together into one stitch. This is going to take us from 18 stitches down to 12. And when we get to the end, you can slip stitch if you want. If you got bigger fingers and it's harder for you to get the stuffing in there, like if it's already feeling a little bit snug for you, you could wait to join until after you put your stuffing in. Totally up to you. If you're going to add catnip, I would add the catnip first, then put your stuffing in, and you want to make sure that your stuffing isn't overflowing because it can very easily get caught in the stitches, and it's kind of a giant pain in the butt to pick it all out of there so it looks nice, and so you're not, you know, worried about your kitty cat like eating any of that fluff. Okay, so we're at that point now where catnip first if you want catnip, stuffing, make sure it's nice and leveled off, it's tucked underneath those stitches, and we'll meet back for our very last round. Okay, stuffing is done. We're ready for our last round. Last round is all decreases. We've joined, we've chained one. If you haven't already, go ahead and do that. And then we are joining our first 2 stitches together as one. So we're going to single crochet 2 together. Maybe you're taking the front loops, wrap, pull through those 2, wrap, pull through both. If that's uncomfortable for you and you don't know a different decrease stitch, I'll show you one on the next one. So we're just going to, one that might be a little easier if you're just starting out. You just go through the stitch as if you were going to do a regular single crochet, wrap, pull up, and then go through the next one. And then you'll wrap and pull up that one as well. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You can wrap and pull through those first 2, wrap and pull through the next 2. So you get the same situation where you go from 2 stitches down to 1, but it's just a tiny bit bulkier, so you can tell it's a decrease, whereas the other one, if you're not really looking, you might not know that it's even there. So go ahead and keep going, whatever decrease stitches you like all the way around. We will slip stitch to join, but this time we're not going to chain one. We'll meet back up to finish it off. Okay, we finished that row of all decreases. That's taking us all the way back down to just 6 stitches here. There is a little bit of an opening left, so to take care of that, we're going to take a little bit of a tail here. We're snipping the yarn off, keeping our hook in there so we don't lose that last loop. We're going to wrap our yarn over that tail and pull through that last loop. So this is tying that off. Now we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to thread that tail onto our yarn needle. And we're taking that tail and the yarn needle, we're going to work our way around the top here. So we're going into that very first stitch and out the next one with our needle, pulling the tail through, going through the next 2, same idea, going in and then out the next one. And one last time, this is going to take us all the way back to the beginning. And then once you are back at the beginning, when we pull on that tail, it's going to close up that opening. So now we don't have any holes anywhere. We're going to go through right where that join was with our yarn needle until we've got just that little loop. We're going through to create a simple knot. And just like we did with our other tail, we're making that knot as tight as possible. Whichever direction your knot lays the flattest across the top of the toy, we will send our yarn needle through in that direction. And we'll give a little bit of tension to that tail, snipping off as close to the toy as we can without catching any of our stitches. Just cutting that away and it should bounce right back into your toy. Now you don't have to worry about weaving that in. It's hidden away, it's all set. And there's our little macaron. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. If you made a little macaroon and you want to show me, you can show me on Instagram. It's the same there as it is here, just Denise Fox Crafts. I would love to see your toys if you made one. All right, thank you guys. Bye.